Lovely viewers, it didn't take long before those tender glances between Lee Min-ho and Hye Kyo during that unforgettable TV interview became more than just a trending clip. They turned into a movement of love that seemed to ripple across the entire world. Fans from every corner, Korea, Japan, the Philippines, Indonesia, the United States, and even Africa, began posting reaction videos, edits, and heartfelt messages about how this couple's simple gestures reminded them that love, in its truest form, still exists. It wasn't about the glamour or the fame. It was about the silent understanding, the connection that words couldn't even begin to describe. Shortly after the interview, news outlets began releasing unseen footage. Little moments that didn't make it to air but were quietly captured by the crew. One of those clips showed Lee Min-ho gently tucking a strand of hair behind Hye Kyo's ear as they prepared for a close-up shot. The way she shyly smiled and whispered something that made him laugh softly was enough to make the entire internet swoon again. One reporter even wrote, "There's no script that can write the kind of chemistry they share. It's organic, real, and deeply felt." Lovely viewers, what happened next only deepened the magic. The couple was later spotted arriving together at a private post-interview dinner arranged by the show's producers. Witnesses said they were glowing. Lee Min-ho in a simple navy blazer, Hye Kyo in an elegant cream dress that shimmered softly under the dim lights. The moment they entered, everyone noticed how their hands naturally found each other. They didn't need to say much. Their connection filled the entire room. Even those sitting far away could sense the comfort and love between them, the kind that only grows from true partnership. One producer sitting nearby shared a touching detail afterwards, saying, "They didn't talk much about the industry or fame. They talked about the little things like cooking dinner together, reading late at night, and planning future travels. They're like two best friends who just happen to be deeply in love." It was moments like these that reminded everyone that beyond their celebrity status, Lee Min-ho and Hye Kyo were simply two people who had found home in each other's hearts. Later that evening, as the event wound down, a fan outside managed to capture a short clip of them leaving together. The footage showed Lee Min-ho opening the car door for Hye Kyo and gently placing his hand on her back to guide her in. But what melted everyone's hearts was the way she turned around, looked up at him and smiled, the same kind of soft, adoring smile that had made millions fall in love with her. He returned that look with eyes full of warmth and quiet pride before joining her inside. That tiny exchange, though only a few seconds long, became one of the most replayed clips on fan pages around the world. Lovely viewers, their story didn't stop there. A few days later, the network released a special follow-up video, a candid behind-the-scenes conversation recorded during a break in filming. In it, Lee Min-ho and Hye Kyo were seen seated side by side, chatting casually about life, laughter echoing between them. At one point, the interviewer asked a spontaneous question, "What do you think is love's most powerful language?" Lee Min-ho turned to look at Hye Kyo, paused and smiled before saying, "It's not words. It's presence." The silence that followed was gentle yet heavy with emotion. Hye Kyo looked at him and nodded slowly before replying, "Yes, when someone truly shows up, in the quiet moments, the hard times, and even in the small joys, that's love." The audience behind the scenes went quiet, realizing they were witnessing something deeply personal, something real. Fans who later saw the clip flooded social media with emotional comments, writing, "They're not acting. They're speaking from the heart. And you can tell those words were meant for each other." Soon after, media outlets started calling it the interview of the year, not because of dramatic revelations, but because of the raw, genuine emotion it portrayed. And to make it even more special, it was revealed that the couple personally sent handwritten thank you notes to the show's team, expressing their gratitude for making the experience so memorable. Each note was signed with both their initials, a small but intimate gesture that sent fans spiraling with joy. But perhaps the most touching moment came a week later, when Lee Min-ho surprised everyone by sharing a heartfelt post on his social media. He uploaded a still photo from the interview, the moment where he was looking at Hye Kyo with pure admiration, and captioned it simply, "Where eyes speak louder than words." Within minutes, millions of likes poured in, and the comment section was flooded with love and support. Hye Kyo later reposted the same image with her own caption, When eyes meet, hearts understand. Lovely viewers, if that isn't the purest form of love, then what is? Fans from around the world began pairing their posts, creating edits of the two captions together, turning them into wallpapers, fan art, and even quotes printed on t-shirts. Their interaction reminded people everywhere that love isn't always loud or extravagant. Sometimes it's quiet and deeply felt, the kind that shines through even in silence. Insiders later revealed that following the viral attention, the TV station received requests from thousands of fans asking for a second part of the interview, this time focusing on their relationship and personal reflections. The producers reportedly loved the idea and began making plans for a special episode that would allow fans to ask the couple questions about love, partnership, and their journey together. And of course, fans couldn't wait to see them back on screen, sitting side by side, sharing more of their beautiful connection. When the news of the upcoming episode was confirmed, social media exploded all over again. Fans began trending hashtags like #MinHyoReturn and #LoveInTheRace, celebrating the reunion before it even happened. People were already predicting how the next interview would unfold, how Lee Min-ho might gently tease Song Hye Kyo again, how she might shyly laugh, and how those familiar loving glances would once again steal the spotlight. Lovely viewers, their story continues to unfold like a real-life romance drama, full of sincerity, tenderness, and respect. In an era where so much feels rushed and superficial, watching two people share something so grounded and heartfelt feels almost healing. It's no wonder fans describe their bond as peaceful love. A love that doesn't need validation, doesn't seek attention, but simply exists in its quiet strength. And as the day for their next appearance approaches, fans are already counting down the hours, eagerly waiting for that moment when Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo will once again sit together, share smiles, and remind the world what real love looks like. Because, lovely viewers, in a world full of fleeting moments, what they share feels timeless, like a story written not by fame or circumstance, but by fate itself. Lovely viewers, as the anticipation for Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo's next joint appearance reached fever pitch, the energy online became absolutely electric. Fan accounts on every platform started organizing countdowns, art challenges, and global watch parties in honor of what many called the couple that redefined love. Every social media feed was flooded with edits of their loving glances from that first interview, accompanied by heartfelt captions like, "If eyes could talk, theirs would tell a love story that never ends." People weren't just watching them for entertainment anymore. They were emotionally invested in their bond, drawn to the authenticity and gentleness that seemed to surround them. In the days leading up to the new interview, both stars kept a relatively low profile, but their quiet gestures spoke louder than any press statement ever could. Song Hye Kyo was spotted attending a small charity gala in Seoul, wearing a soft pastel gown with minimal accessories. Yet fans couldn't help but notice the delicate bracelet around her wrist. Upon closer inspection, the bracelet appeared to be the same one she had worn during the interview, rumored to have been a gift from Lee Min-ho himself. It had a subtle inscription, and though no one could confirm what it said, fans speculated it was something deeply personal, perhaps their initials or even the date of their first meeting. Meanwhile, Lee Min-ho was seen filming a new project, but even on set, he couldn't escape questions about Song Hye Kyo. In one fan-recorded clip from a behind-the-scenes moment, a crew member jokingly asked him, "Are you ready to look at her that way again during the next interview?" To which he smiled shyly and replied, "I don't think I ever stopped." That one sentence, said so casually yet filled with meaning, sent fans into an emotional frenzy. Within hours, hashtags like #HeNeverStopped and #MinHyoForever began trending across several countries. Lovely viewers, when the day of the much-awaited second interview finally arrived, the excitement was unlike anything seen before. Crowds gathered outside the broadcasting building, holding banners and flowers, cheering for the beloved couple. Inside, the set was designed to feel intimate and cozy. Soft lighting, a round table with two chairs facing each other, and a backdrop filled with soft hues of gold and beige. Everything was crafted to capture the tenderness that had defined their first appearance. When Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo walked in, the atmosphere shifted immediately. The room seemed to brighten just a little more, as though their presence carried its own light. Song Hye Kyo, dressed in an elegant white blouse and a flowy skirt, smiled warmly as she greeted the crew, while Lee Min-ho, in a charcoal gray suit that perfectly complemented her outfit, couldn't take his eyes off her. From the very beginning, it was clear that the magic was still there, stronger, even deeper than before. As the cameras started rolling, the host welcomed them back and jokingly said, "The last time you two were here, the world fell in love with your glances. Are you ready to make us fall in love again?" The audience laughed, and Song Hye Kyo's cheeks turned the faintest shade of pink. She looked at Lee Min-ho, who was already smiling at her with that same soft gaze that melted hearts the first time. She tried to deflect the attention by saying, "We didn't plan that, it just happens." But Lee Min-ho chuckled and added, "Maybe because it's hard not to look at someone who makes everything better." The crowd gasped in delight, and the chemistry between them was undeniable. Throughout the interview, every time one of them spoke, the other listened so intently that it felt like they were in their own private world. When Song Hye Kyo talked about gratitude and how important it was to appreciate life's little moments, Lee Min-ho nodded with a gentle smile. His gaze fixed on her like she was the only thing that mattered. Fans watching from home could feel the sincerity radiating through the screen. Lovely viewers, halfway through the conversation, the host asked them a heartwarming question. "When you're together, what's something you've learned from each other?" There was a short silence. Not an awkward one, but the kind that comes before something meaningful. Song Hye Kyo looked at Lee Min-ho and said softly, "He's taught me that love doesn't always need grand gestures. Sometimes it's found in the quietest of moments. A shared smile, a supportive glance, a comforting hand." Her words brought a hush over the audience. Then Lee Min-ho added, "And she's taught me patience. That love grows deeper when you take the time to truly see someone, to understand their heart." Their eyes met once again, and that same unspoken tenderness filled the room. Fans later said that it was one of the most emotional TV moments they had ever seen, describing it as a love that speaks in silence. After the show wrapped, reports surfaced that Lee Min-ho had prepared a small surprise for Song Hye Kyo backstage. A bouquet of white peonies, her favorite flowers, tied with a ribbon that had the words, "For every moment we share," embroidered on it. When she received it, she looked genuinely touched and hugged him tightly in front of everyone. One staff member later shared, "It wasn't for show. You could see it. That was pure, genuine affection." And lovely viewers, what followed made the internet explode all over again. A short clip from behind the scenes showed the two walking hand in hand toward the exit, whispering softly and smiling the whole way. Fans who saw the video described it as the happiest they've ever looked. Many commented, "You can feel the peace between them. It's love in its calmest, purest form." Later that night, Song Hye Kyo posted a short caption on her social media that read, "A day to remember," along with a photo of the peonies. Within minutes, Lee Min-ho liked the post and commented with 3 simple words, "Always with you." Lovely viewers, it was short, simple, and yet so powerful that it broke every fan's heart in the best way possible. The next morning, entertainment outlets across Asia were filled with glowing headlines. Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo's second interview feels like a love letter to the world. Fans couldn't stop sharing their favorite clips, and analysts even noted that the broadcast had one of the highest live ratings of the year. It wasn't just because of who they were, it was because of how they made people feel. Lovely viewers, that's the magic of this couple. They don't need extravagant displays to prove their love. It's there, in the quiet looks, in the laughter between questions, in the way they walk beside each other like two souls perfectly aligned. Their story has become more than just entertainment. It's an experience, a gentle reminder that true love doesn't need to shout to be heard. After that unforgettable second interview, their connection seemed even more profound, more grounded, and fans began to notice just how effortlessly they moved through life as partners. Not just as celebrities, but as two people deeply in sync. Not long after, photos began circulating online of the couple at a cozy cafe in Seoul. They weren't surrounded by cameras or security. It was just them, dressed casually, sitting at a corner table, sharing coffee and laughter. Song Hye Kyo was wearing a simple beige coat, her hair loosely tied, while Lee Min-ho sat across from her in a dark sweater, looking relaxed. A fan who happened to be there described the moment as like watching a live K-drama scene. She said they spoke softly, smiled often, and even leaned toward each other, whispering and giggling like two people completely lost in their own world. That fan's photo, though taken respectfully from afar, went viral in minutes. The internet couldn't stop gushing over the way Lee Min-ho's gaze lingered on Song Hye Kyo as she stirred her drink, or how she gently nudged his arm when he made her laugh. Lovely viewers, it was so natural, so beautifully real. The kind of love that doesn't need an audience, yet inspires everyone who sees it. Fans wrote comments like, "They make love look effortless," and "This is what peace between two people looks like." Later that week, during a press junket for one of Lee Min-ho's upcoming projects, a journalist couldn't resist asking about that cafe sighting. Instead of dodging the question, he smiled shyly and said, "Sometimes the simplest moments mean the most." He didn't elaborate, but that small sentence was enough. It was his quiet acknowledgement, a soft confirmation that those glances, that connection, was as real as everyone hoped it was. Song Hye Kyo, on her part, attended a fashion event around the same time. When a reporter complimented her glowing appearance and asked if she'd been happier lately, she replied with a graceful smile, "I think when your heart feels at peace it shows." The crowd erupted in soft murmurs, and fans watching live streams immediately connected the dots. People online started saying things like, "That's Lee Min-ho's love glow," and "She's happier than ever, you can see it in her eyes." Lovely viewers, soon after these separate appearances, the couple was seen again, this time arriving hand in hand at an exclusive awards ceremony. The way they walked down that carpet together was simply breathtaking. They weren't overly affectionate, yet their connection was undeniable. Lee Min-ho would glance at her every few seconds, ensuring she was comfortable amid the flashing lights, while Song Hye Kyo would look up at him with that same soft smile that seemed to calm the chaos around them. When they finally posed for photos together, his hand rested protectively at her waist, and she leaned slightly into him. The crowd couldn't help but cheer. It was elegance, warmth, and genuine love, all captured in one frame. That particular image dominated social media for days. Fans created slow-motion edits with romantic soundtracks, comparing them to famous on-screen couples. One viral post read, "You can't fake what's in their eyes. That's love that's lived, not acted." And truly, lovely viewers, that's what made everyone's hearts flutter. They weren't performing. They were simply being themselves. And that authenticity made their love story even more enchanting. After the ceremony, an insider revealed a sweet detail that fans adored. Apparently, before the event started, Lee Min-ho was seen adjusting Song Hye Kyo's necklace, making sure it sat perfectly on her collarbone. When she thanked him softly, he smiled and said, "I just want you to shine." And shine she did, not just because of the diamonds but because of the love surrounding her. Moments like that reminded everyone that behind the glitz and glamour, they were simply two people caring deeply for each other. A few days later, a short clip surfaced from the ceremony's backstage area. It showed Song Hye Kyo waiting for Lee Min-ho as he spoke briefly with a director. The moment he turned around and saw her waiting, his entire face lit up. He walked over, placed a gentle hand on her back, and said something that made her laugh before they walked off together, side by side. Fans described it as the kind of love that doesn't demand attention but captures hearts naturally. Lovely viewers, what made all this even more heartwarming was how consistent they were. No grand announcements, no staged photos, just two souls living their truth quietly and beautifully. Their every appearance seemed to reaffirm what the world had already felt since that very first TV interview, that Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo had found something rare and enduring. In an interview snippet released later, Lee Min-ho spoke about how important it is to have someone who understands your silences. He said, "Sometimes you don't need words. Just knowing someone's there, that's enough." Those words echoed deeply, not just because they were poetic, but because everyone knew exactly who he meant.